There are 5 sensors under your hood slowly draining your wallet. Mechanics forget them, YouTube ignores them, and your check engine light probably screaming because of one right now. Shops see these codes, skip the cheap fix, and charge you hundreds for parts that weren't even the problem. But 4 of these sensors, you can clean them, save them, fix them. Only one mechanics refuse to touch with a rag or spray can, not because they're lazy, not because they want your money, because cleaning it is like washing your phone with a pressure washer. It destroys it. Your uncle, that car channel, and the guy on Reddit all told you to clean it. Today, I'm showing you why that's the worst advice, what actually happens inside when you spray it, and the 3-minute check that tells you if you need a new sensor or if something else is lying to your computer. Meet the suspects. First, the O2 sensor. Lives in your exhaust pipe, snitches on your engine. Tells your computer if you're burning too much gas or too little. When it gets lazy, you get code P0133, mechanic talk for slow response. Basically, the sensor saying, "I'm tired and taking too long to report for duty." A lazy sensor means your engine is flying blind on fuel mixture. Next, the MAF sensor. Sits between your air filter and engine, measuring incoming air like a tiny wind meter. When dirty, your gas mileage tanks, 3 to 5 fewer miles per gallon because this sensor can't see through the grime. The good news is, you can clean this one safely with the right spray. Then, the thermostat and coolant temperature sensor. Best friends. When they break up, your engine overheats, or worse, your gauge lies saying everything is fine while your engine cooks itself into a very expensive repair. Finally, the second O2 sensor. After your catalytic converter, that exhaust cleaner thing. Just make sure the converter isn't napping on the job. 4 of these 5 can be cleaned, tested, or saved. But that first O2 sensor, right after your engine, before the catalytic converter, mechanics call it the upstream sensor. That's the one under yellow tape. Never clean. Here's why. Type "how to clean O2 sensor" into Google and you'll find 1,000 tutorials. Soak it in gasoline, spray carb cleaner, scrub with a soft brush, torch it with propane. Everyone's got a hack, and every single one of them just cost you $60. Here's what those tutorials don't show you. Inside that metal shell is a ceramic element, not grandma's pottery. High-tech ceramic so porous it's basically a sponge made of stone, coated with a microscopic layer of platinum, same stuff in jewelry, thinner than a human hair. That combo lets the sensor breathe exhaust and generate tiny electrical signals telling your computer what's happening. When fresh and clean, oxygen waltzes through microscopic holes, hits the platinum, creates voltage. Rich mixture, high voltage. Lean, low voltage. Your computer reads this dance happening hundreds of times per second, adjusting fuel injectors. It's a tiny laboratory inside your exhaust pipe, working overtime every single time you drive. Say you follow internet advice. Pull the sensor, soak it in gasoline 12 hours, scrub the tip. Here's what you did. That soft brush, to microscopic pores, it's a bulldozer. You're not removing carbon, you're tearing pore structure, scratching platinum coating. Once damaged, the sensor can't generate accurate voltage anymore. It's like scratching your glasses and then wondering why the world looks blurry, except you can't just buy new lenses, you buy a whole new sensor. It gets worse. Gasoline and carb cleaner leave residue. Even after air drying, microscopic hydrocarbons trap inside pores like grease in a sponge. Now the sensor can't breathe properly, coated in chemicals, generating nonsense voltages. Your computer sees these wild swings and thinks, "This sensor is drunk, I'm going to ignore it and guess instead." And when your computer guesses, it always guesses wrong. That's when your gas mileage really dies, your idle gets rough, and the check engine light comes back to haunt you exactly when you thought you fixed it. The propane torch method? My favorite. Just burn the carbon off. Sure, except that ceramic runs at 700 degrees, controlled by an internal heater. Hit it with a torch, you create hot spots, cracking the ceramic. Once cracked, it's done. No fixing it. You didn't clean a $60 sensor, you just turned a $60 sensor into a paperweight, and you still have to buy the replacement. And here's the part that really stings. That sensor you just destroyed, it might have been perfectly fine before you touched it. Slow response doesn't mean dead, it means tired. But after your gasoline bath and brush massage, it's definitely dead. You didn't fix a slow sensor, you murdered a tired one. Why don't mechanics clean O2 sensors? Not a conspiracy, not to charge you more. They learned the hard way that cleaning doesn't fix the real problem. It creates new ones.
When an O2 sensor throws P0133, slow response, it's usually not dirty. Something else made it dirty. Exhaust leak upstream, misfiring cylinder dumping raw fuel, bad spark plugs, leaking injector, contaminated fuel, oil burning past worn rings, even a cracked exhaust manifold. The sensor is the victim, not the criminal. Arresting the witness never solves the case. Cleaning without fixing the root cause is like changing socks while standing in a puddle. You feel better 5 minutes, then wet again. Plus, you've chemically assaulted, scrubbed, or thermally shocked the sensor on top of whatever was wrong. Most technicians recommend replacement rather than cleaning, because cleaning is at best temporary and at worst damages the sensor further. Automotive O2 sensors aren't meant to be cleaned, they're meant to be replaced after about 100,000 miles or 10 years, like a light bulb. You don't clean a burnt-out bulb, you replace it. Here's a true story. A guy I know watched a YouTube tutorial that told him to soak his O2 sensor in gasoline overnight to save money. He did it, reinstalled it, check engine lights stayed off for 3 whole days. Then P0133 came back, only now the sensor was completely dead. He spent $0 on a new sensor, plus another $60 on the replacement he needed anyway, plus the 12 hours he wasted smelling like a gas station. Cleaning didn't fix it, it just made him pay twice. By the way, if this is the first time someone's actually explained what's happening inside your exhaust instead of just yelling, "buy a new one," you should probably subscribe. I do this every week. One part, one myth, one thing your uncle got wrong. What should you do when P0133 appears? 3-minute game plan. Step 1. Scan for other codes. Got misfire codes, lean codes, injector codes? Fix those first. The sensor reports the crime scene. Don't arrest the witness. A misfiring cylinder dumps raw fuel into the exhaust and poisons the sensor from the inside. Step 2. Check for exhaust leaks. Air entering before the O2 sensor throws off readings. You can hear ticking or hissing, or see black soot around joints. It's like tasting soup while someone pours water in. The sensor can't read accurately. A $5 gasket could be the entire problem. Step 3. Look at fuel trims. How much extra fuel your computer adds or subtracts. Constantly adjusting more than 10%? Something upstream is wrong. The sensor is the messenger. Shooting the messenger doesn't fix the kingdom. Step 4. If everything checks out and the sensor still responds slowly, live data lagging like a tired dog on a hot day, then and only then do you replace it. No fancy dealer part needed. Decent aftermarket sensor, $30 to $60. 20 minutes with a wrench, you can do it in your driveway with a single socket and a jack stand. Done. Don't clean it, don't soak it, don't torch it. Replace it. Every minute cleaning is a minute not fixing what actually killed it. Ignore the root cause, and you'll be back in 3 months with another dead sensor. Next time that check engine light pops on and the code says P0133, you won't panic. You won't Google how to clean. You won't grab a can of carb cleaner and pray. You'll grab a scanner. You'll hunt the real killer. You'll check for leaks, check your trims, check for misfires. And if that sensor is truly done after 100,000 miles of loyal service, you'll spend $30, spin in a new one, and know it died of old age, not ignorance. That's the difference between someone who watches car videos and someone who actually understands their car. Now you know which one you are.
And that knowledge just saved you from the most expensive mistake your uncle ever taught you. Drive safe.